Obvious question, how on earth did you lose that game?
Inexperience, simply. A couple of lads just didn't do their job. As you say, I thought we played exceptional stuff at times, and they were gone at 2-1. Their heads were completely gone. I said it to Lee, and we were playing 4-5-1, and we talked about half time about managing the game, and 2 or 3 lads just didn't do it, and both goals came down one area because we are just bombing on trying to play like Barcelona. And it's a very harsh lesson. Again, another one. Ridiculous that we lost the game, because I think for the vast majority of it we've been dominant, but we didn't need to go and get another goal. We were in complete control at 2-1, and we had to change the system. We had some with bringing in Jordan. We were really only meant to play him for 45, and he got to 60. But we were in complete control, and as I said, that lack of discipline, that lack of doing what they were told has killed us, and we've gone from a 2-1, 3 points well earnt, with things going against us, missing a penalty, possible red card on that decision as well, to ending up losing the game. So I'm furious, because we talked about it. We talked about it during the game, and we talked about it at half time, about managing the game out, that we could win that game 1-0, and we didn't do it, and therefore we get nothing.
Let's talk about that first incident. Obviously a penalty. He's only got a yellow. Did you think it was sort of Burgess Hill all over again?
Yeah, no, and we said at half time, I said, can we learn from what we think was a big injustice at Burgess Hill? I mean, it's a goal scoring opportunity, isn't he? Straight in front of the goal. They'll say the ball's rolling through. Well, he's rolling through because he's taken his legs, but look, we didn't get it. We missed the penalty, but I thought our reaction was good. We've taken the lead. We've been the better side, and very disappointed with, again, the goal we gave away, albeit we were down to 10 men, but he's walked through the centre of my midfield and defence and scored. But again, we've gone straight back up the other end, scored a good goal, and I just thought we were totally dominant then. We passed the ball beautifully. There were a number of moves that really looked like they could finish in a goal, and but I was just kept screaming, look, let's just sit there and the goal will come. They were throwing more men on, but I don't think they had any attempts on goal at all. I mean, it was just nothing was happening for them until the last 5 minutes, and that was because we were going gun-ho, and we weren't meant to be going gun-ho, and we're screaming at the top of our voice, and there's a couple of players in there who know that they have to take responsibility. We're screaming at them to sit there and stay and see the game out. We've done a good job. We played some good football, we'd entertained, we should have won the game, and we've gifted the 3 points away, and I'm absolutely livid. And I've said you'll get a lot of plaudits, you played some lovely stuff, but and I'm pleased the fans know we're trying the right way, but we're very young, and that's an excuse I'm getting bored of, because we should have seen that out, and it's very, very hard to take at this moment in time.
That said, if Bobby Dale, but for a good save from Jack Turner, would have been 3-1. Game over. They went up the other end of the field and scored the winner. That must have hurt, because that was another big turning point, wasn't it?
I think he's made 3 or 4 saves, hasn't he? I mean, we've been inches away from opening them up at will. I mean, we've played some lovely football, but we didn't need to chase the game. It was happening naturally. We had 2 banks of 4. We had a number 10 dropping in to make 5. We were forced into that, really, due to, as I said, commitments with players. And injuries, but we were managing the game at that point. We didn't need fullbacks bombing on into silly areas, trying to desperately score a 3rd goal with 5 minutes to go. It was just terrible, management of the game. But you get that with inexperience. But we've said to them, enough's enough of that, because as much as I think we've shown a wonderful advert for the league tonight, I'm interested in winning games, and no one would have complained if we'd won 2-1 and for the last 10 minutes we were hoofing the ball into the PRE. We'd done our job, we'd done our work, we were the better team. Things had gone against us, we'd missed a penalty, we'd had decisions not go for us, and we've made a right mess of it, and that's very hard to take right now.
When the game is so open like that, when you got someone with the pace of Buenadio, anything can happen. He was a real threat, wasn't he?
Well, yes, when your left back's playing as centre forward, of course he's a real threat. I'm a real threat if I've got half the pitch to run into, but we're not doing our job. That's the problem. The left back has gone missing. The left back's playing centre forward, bombing on. It's ridiculous, absolute ridiculous. That's cost us the game. End of. As you correctly, we We picked on him before the game. We said he's a definite threat for them. And you must have seen me how many times I'm screaming, Adam, stay there, stay there. Players are for. We're winning the game, for God's sake. We've worked really hard to be in control of the game. We've played some lovely football. As I said, it's very hard to take right now, and they've got to learn from it. And we keep harping on about the same excuse. We're in the first few weeks of the season, but they can't keep doing that, because I want to be winners. All things considered, we want to be winning games, not just entertaining people with some great football. We want to be winning games, and we should have won that game tonight. What
can you do as a manager to ensure that games are won when you are dominating? Because that's two on the trot now. I think Burgess Hill as well. You could probably count. So, what can you do to instill that winning mentality into
Burgess,
a young team?
No, this was the first thing. Burgess Hill was totally different. It was 1-1, 10 minutes into the second half, and there should have been a penalty and a red card. There was a yellow card, not a penalty, and Adam's gone and got himself sent off. I don't put that in the same ilk as tonight. You can do not much more than tell them at half time and talk them through it during the game. But if one or two decide to say, sod that, I'm going to go and try and score another wonder goal and make myself a hero, and has actually turned themselves into being a villain, and make no mistakes, they know in that dressing room, I've had enough of being really nice in there. We can have some plaudits, people will say what lovely football we play and what a nice place we are and what a wonderful stadium, but I'm interested in winning football games. And sometimes, for the last 10 minutes of the game, you have to manage the game. Met Police managed the game on Saturday. They were 1-0 up and they hung on, and they were time wasting and feigning injuries, and you make yourself a winner. And I don't care if you're 17 or if you're 37, you make yourself a winner, and they've got to learn from that experience. And some will do it and some won't, and if they won't do it, they won't be here, because at the end of the day, we've got to win football games. We've got a division to bed in this season. We've very much said this season is about building, and then we'll look at what happens next year. We don't know a lot about the division. They don't know a lot about us. We still don't know what's going to happen as far as with the Ryman League. So I think things may or may not happen there. So we've got to learn these lessons. And I said, first and foremost, I think we've put on a fantastic show of attacking football, and I thought we've defended very well for most of the game. But because we haven't stuck to the instructions at the end, we've ended up with nothing.
As you say, it's a learning curve, and these young players will remember tonight and hopefully go into, say, Saturday or beyond, and have this at the back of their heads.
Hope so. Not sure if one or two have quite got the mentality. What we've done here is we've got great connections at this club. We've brought in lads that have played at a very high level, albeit at youth levels, and it's not easy coming down to Farnborough. We've got wonderful facilities here. I think we're a league club facilities wise, but the mentality and focus has got to be there, because this is a really decent league, and you've just seen there today that we've fallen asleep for 5-10 minutes, gone all gun-ho, the game's opened up, and we're trying to close it down, and we've ended up with nothing. And I feel sorry for a number of our lads there who, they're furious with a couple of our lads in there. They're absolutely furious. I said, why did you not tell him? He said, I've been telling him, stay here, and players kept bumming on. I think the occasion gets to them, and they're going, we're playing so well, and as you say, Turner's pulling out saves, and we're here, there and everywhere, and but let's hope they do learn. But it's got to happen quick, because I just don't like losing football games, and we've got a very difficult FA Cup tie on Saturday, and they're a very experienced side, and we know obviously a number of them, and they'll be ruthless. You'd never see a side like that make that type of mistake tonight, but that's what you get with inexperience sometimes. So it's about being hard on them, realising that we've blown 3 points here, but also saying, fellas, look how well we played for the vast majority of the game. We don't want to criticise them to death, but they've also got to realise this isn't academy football, this isn't youth team football, this is the Ryman Premier, and this is a high level of football, and they've got to learn, and learn quick. So it's a balancing act between saying, well played for lots of the game, and come on, we've absolutely gift-wrapped 3 points for Staines tonight.
Switching to the FA Cup on Saturday, obviously with the rewards that the FA Cup have, it's a big game for not only the team but for the club itself, isn't it?
Massive game, localish. As usual, we get our away draw, no big surprise there. Tough game. Kingstonian are, I think it's fair to say, pretty hit and miss. When they hit, they're lethal. They hit Met Police 7-0, and they had a ended Harrow Borough's unbeaten run the other night as well. So, you know, they're very strong, they're experienced, they've got a good squad, they're well funded, but they've also had their off days as well. And as you've seen tonight, we can play some fabulous football. We really are the walking wounded, and we're going to have to look at it very seriously. We desperately need to get another 1 or 2 in as well. I mean, Lee and I have worked all weekend to get in one short-term loan today because of the amount of injuries we're getting at, and some of our injuries just aren't improving at the speed we'd like, and we still don't have international clearance for Brad. So we'll have to reassess the situation, but it is a massive game for us, and it's a game we desperately need to win for the club's finances. And who knows, the FA Cup, exciting, and the run that you can get, and you know, a few weeks later you can be on the TV, etc., earning 6 figures. So it's a great opportunity, lovely pitch, local. We know it's going to be a tough game, but you know, we've got to take all the positives out of today. And you know, it's not been a bad start to the season. Results haven't quite gone our way, but nobody can say that we're not entertaining and we're trying to play the right way and we're keeping the ball on the floor. And we're just falling a little bit short at the moment.
But you won't want to give a certain Dan Bennett that kind of space on Saturday, will you?
He'll murder us if you do that. I mean, he'll just murder us if we do that. They've got side. You've got Inzi there as well, so we know about him at set pieces. Bennett is Bennett. You know, I've had him for a very long time. We know what he's about, and as you said, if you give him that type of space, if you go missing, then you'll be in terrible problems. But they've got another lad up top who's getting a lot of plaudits at the moment, and they've got experience in the middle. They've got Ty Smith, who's done it a lot, and obviously Inzi and Pagey's at the back. So, you know, toll free and go. I mean, everything we're not, to be perfectly blunt. They're a very different structured side. That's not what we can do here at this club at the moment, but we've got a huge amount of pluses as well. So I think you've seen that over the 4 games, that we're trying to do things the right way in very restricted circumstances. But you know, it's hard because when you look back in the morning and you know, realise we've played some lovely football, and it's just so frustrating to end up with nothing.
Well, plus you can take away your front 2. It's a real goal threat there, isn't it? You know, Bobby Dale, I think that's what 5 or 6 for the season now already.
I think we've got goal threat all over the place. I really do. I think Nick Brown, he's constantly holding an injury at the moment, but you know, Jordan's come in just for 28 days. You know, we're very grateful for Cheltenham for letting us have him. He's had a terrible injury, so we're so short at the moment. But I think young Yasin did very well. I mean, you've got to remember again, we are very young, 19-year-olds again. But we do have goal threat around the park. And if we can learn to cut out these silly errors, whether that's managing the game or silly mistakes, frustration like we had at Burgess Hill, or start poorly like we certainly did at home to Met Police, then we'll be a match for anybody. I think we are a match for anybody, but we need to turn these frustrating defeats where we've really played very well and start turning them into wins. And right now, if you said to me we'll go and bore the pants off everybody at Kingstonian on Saturday and win 1-0, I'd bite your hand off.
Excellent.